Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for another edition of Reporter's Notebook. For those of you who've never watched Reporter's Notebook before, it's one of my personal favorite little segments that we get to do where towards the end of our day, we get to bring in some of our reporters, maybe some producers, maybe some editors, and, learn a little bit about what goes on behind the scenes at WNCT and what it's like to work in a newsroom, and also really just dive a little deeper into those stories that we cover for you guys each and every day. So today I'm joined with Zoom from Miss Madison Forsey. Hello, hello.
Hello, how are you?
I am good. And this is Madison's Friday, so I'm sure she is all ready to end her day and kick her feet up, put some PJs on. I mean, at least that's what I would do.
Yes. That sounds like exactly what I'll be doing in like an hour's time, for sure.
Definitely. And you had, kind of a crazy hot button topic for your story today. So I could imagine you're definitely tired from talking to all the people you got to talk to today. So you dove into, the growing concerns, not even growing, the continuous concern of the spread of COVID-19 here in our state. So what did you learn today from some of the people that you spoke to about what's going on?
Yeah, so since the beginning of the pandemic, the Pitt County Health Director, Dr. John Silvernail, and a bunch of other community partners, including the executive team at Biden, they've all been having these weekly COVID media sessions, they're calling them. And it's basically just a way for us to, ask whatever is on the community's mind and get a doctor and health leader's perspective. So one of the big things right now is the new variants of COVID-19. We've seen variants pop up in the UK and in South Africa, and there have been some confirmed cases here in North Carolina. I believe only just one, but I could be wrong on that. But we've definitely seen the variant here, not in Eastern North Carolina though. So people are wanting to know, this virus is mutating and changing. Does that affect our vaccines? Does that affect all the work that we've done thus far? And I was kind of interested in that too, because I do think it's interesting, we get a different flu shot every year. Well, that's not because the flu vaccine isn't effective. That's because the virus is changing and COVID is changing similarly. So that was one of the things we talked about today. Another thing we talked about was the Super Bowl, which everyone is looking forward to the Super Bowl. But the only thing is, throughout this entire pandemic, every big American holiday that we've seen has also come with a spike in cases. So leaders were talking about, it might be fun to sit down, watch the Super Bowl with your friends, share the chips and dip and all like the other potluck delicious foods that we associate with watching football. But this year might not be the year. So those were the two big things that we talked about today.
Definitely. And like you were saying, I mean, the Super Bowl is just a few days away. And I know, all the packages we've been showing, people are really excited for the Super Bowl. People are really gearing up for it. But, at the same time, we are still really in the middle of a pandemic. We don't know when that end line is. So we're really still right smack dab in the middle. And, similar to Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's hard not to want to enjoy those events or enjoy those special occasions, with the people that we love and we like celebrating with. But even here, us reporters, we got to do the same thing. We got to try to stay home and limit our, exposure to other people to keep you guys safe when we're out reporting and talking to you guys. So, this is
absolutely,
it's a tough one. It's hard. I know it's Super Bowl 55. Everyone's so excited, but.
And after like a full year of, masking and staying by ourselves and doing all this stuff, like it's the Super Bowl, it's fun. Even if you don't like football, you still want to watch the commercials. But like a big thing that Dr. Waldron, who's the CEO of Biden Health, and Dr. John Silvernail were saying was, if people have these concerns about variants of COVID and how COVID is spreading, don't go and gather for a Super Bowl party. The less virus we put into our community, the better. So they were really just trying to implore people today to follow those guidelines. And hey, if you are going to have a gathering, still maintain 6 feet of distance. Like try to pick an area in your home where you can do that. And those like shareable Super Bowl foods, probably not the best thing. Like maybe everyone can get their own pre-portioned thing or get someone else to.
No double dipping this year, you guys. None of that.
No double dipping is never okay.
I'm a chronic double dipper. I'm not going to lie, but I won't do it this year. I promise.
I think sometimes the only way you can get away with double dipping is if you like break the chip. You know what I'm like? You kind of
Okay,
like
so
get a
yeah, I
couple
think
sides of the
I
chip.
like most of the time do that, I think. So
Yeah,
it's
so
not as
like
bad.
I'm talking like dip, bite, dip. It's like the classic Seinfeld
Yeah,
thing, you
see,
double
none of
dip the
that,
chip,
y'all. None
but
of that this year.
yeah, no,
Mm-mm.
it is not going to fly. I think the Pitt County health leaders would really be upset about that.
I know,
But
definitely.
I think that one thing they also said too, I mean, Dr. Silvernail said that he's played football all of his life. He's a big football fan. And he does say that the resurgence of sports, and, when we kind of saw college sports come back, NBA, NFL, so
Mhm.
all those sporting events shut down and then come back in like the fall, winter of 2020, that did a lot of really positive things for people's mental health.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what's important. Like all of these safety things have kind of become second nature to us. So it's like, don't forget that while you're also prioritizing your mental health. You watch the game, get up with family, maybe do it virtually, and remember that we are still in a pandemic. But he was really happy to see that a large scale event like this, that so many people are invested in, is still happening, even in a pandemic.
Definitely. And, one of the things also is for the past few days, hospitalizations in our state, at least, have been decreasing at a pretty slow rate, but they've been decreasing. And that's, awesome. But at the same time, when we had Thanksgiving and then there was that huge spike, a couple weeks later. So guys,
Yeah.
we're seeing a slight decrease in hospitalizations in our state. We can tell that, obviously all the procedures and guidelines are working in some capacity. So, please be aware of that. And please, be mindful of the fact that while this is going to be a super fun event, because I totally get it, I would love to have a huge Super Bowl celebration.
Oh, yeah.
But, we don't want to see that huge spike, especially in a time where we're finally kind of starting to see some decrease in those numbers and those hospitalizations. Let's just, try to keep everyone safe, try to keep yourself safe, because we're starting to head in a sort of positive direction, and let's keep that trajectory, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank
It's
you,
very
Madison,
hopeful.
for joining us.
No problem. There's a lot to be hopeful for. So
There
we just have
is,
to hang on
most
to that.
definitely. Well, what are your plans for Super Bowl Sunday? You usually work on Sundays, so what are you doing this Sunday?
I normally work, but here's the thing. I will be filling in on the morning shift come Monday. And that means waking up at like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. So that means I will probably be in bed by 6. So I
you might
don't
even
think
watch-
I'll
you
be
might even-
watching the Super Bowl.
I'll
just
fill
catch
you
all
in the next day.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm
They
sure
threw a
people will
ball
fill me
one
in.
way. I don't know.
I'll just get all the greatest, like the highlights of all the commercials and stuff, and like crazy stuff that happens on Twitter.
There you go.
Day,
As long as
we'll
you
be
watch
good.
the halftime show, like, that's pretty awesome.
Yes,
That
that too.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Madison, for joining us for this edition of Reporter's Notebook. Thank you for covering this story and, getting out as much information as possible before the Super Bowl about just safety and what people should be aware of. So thank you guys for watching this edition of Reporter's Notebook, and we will see you next time.